Hey everyone, how you doing today? I thought I'd show you another update on the space station. I've been working on this quite a bit lately. Sorry about not having any gameplay videos on the Anvil server. I might later today, maybe, but if not, for sure tomorrow. I definitely want to get caught up on that as well. But been kind of working on this thing quite a bit, and it definitely is coming along right now. I think most of the hurdles are worked out. Just kind of show you some of the areas that I've been working on. Well, pretty much the outside hull and the storage systems in it. So this is what the module bay is looking like currently. I'm trying to do something a little bit different. Here I got my light on. With the texture lights, trying to do some red and white texture lights in the build, and even in the case up top here, having them right next to each other. I thought that was kind of just a unusual looking effect there, so I kind of liked it. It was kind of by accident. I was going to have one or the other, and then I was like, I had one with both on it at the same time, and I'm like, oh, kind of like that. Let's see what it looks like doing them all that way. So, yeah, that's how that ended up. I'm trying to get some miscellaneous texture lights all over the place, especially on these dark areas that are going to be away from the sun. Now, with the solar panel arrangement, I did rebuild that at this point, so I ended up with this design. I tried a couple other designs in the mix. I didn't really, to be honest, like any of them, but this is probably my favorite of the designs I've tried so far. It is holding all 24 solar panels. Now, I did change systems again too, so I'm at Omicron on the map here, and so yeah, just right out of Omicron, looking at the star that's right there, and I got all the solar panels flat right now. And the star's further away, but they're actually doing a really good job on getting sunlight on how they're sitting right now, at least in this system. Obviously, the other system was a different can of worms, so it will fluctuate from one system to the other on exactly how the solar panels are going to do. It depends on the type of star you're looking at and the distance from that star as well. Even though I'm quite a bit further away from the star here than what I was before, which I was really close, it's actually like they're working better from here. So I don't know. I can't really quite explain that one either. Maybe it's just the angle I'm at or something like that. So as in other parts of the base, I didn't do much with the bottom yet. I gotta definitely tweak and detail that more. I kind of got a base coat of some things over there, but I definitely want to enhance the looks on the bottom side of the base. At the top side of the base, I haven't done too much with that either. I started to put in some glass over here, but I got a lot of unfinished chunks of that. As in the storage, it currently has 19 640K storage bays. It may have more than that before it's done. In fact, I think I got no, maybe I don't have an air there. No, I don't. Okay, so you got like 8 per side. Now I did have to run some storage across the floor as well. These center 2 ones, I was trying to run them up through the hull like I did all on the outer 3 on each side, but I had the module bay and the doorway and the hallway in its way, so they couldn't go up very far that way. So I ended up using some of the floor for those storage bays, and I tried to even lay them out so I could do some block work, like framework looking designs on the bottom side, fluctuating the blocks that are there and things like that. So that's kind of how that ended up right now. And I noticed they're a little bit different from the front to the back side. I kind of wonder if I got an error there too. It is possible. I did some copying and flipping and rotating and pasting, and I had a couple little errors I had to fix up from that already. But I do have the floor sealed off where the furnaces are going to go, so you'll be able to get in 4 furnaces in this location. Also, this lower floor has slots right now where you can add a full set of turbines. So you can add, essentially, this is like, there's 4 of these in the base because it's kind of symmetrical front and back and right and left. So you can add 4 large turbines here. You can add 2 medium large turbines per side over here, so that'll be 4 of those. And then I'm going to try to come up with a way to put in the small turbines in this center slot here, and that will cover all the turbines in the base as well. Now currently I don't have much parts in here at all. I do have a single 1x3 generator, 4 of these solar capacitors and 4 medium-sized fuel tanks. But just taking a look at the costs of the build right now, it's size class 7. Currently, it's running at a 5-hour and 42-minute build time, and the total resource costs are kind of as I expected. It's going to need a lot of iron and carbon, but it's pretty. I mean, there's nothing tricky here to get, really. I did bring up the sathium cost by running the armored glass in various places in the base. But, yeah, pretty light on resources. As in CPU, at least how it sits now, it's at 47,000 CPU, so it's a Core 1. I've got about 32,000, 33,000 CPU left over right now. I definitely want to have it come stock with more production equipment, as it has none right now. So it definitely going to have to use some CPU for constructors and maybe a couple furnaces. And again, that's if I want to lock it in at a Core 1 spawn-in build. Obviously, by the time you fully outfit this with a lot more production and furnaces and turbines and all this stuff, it's going to need more CPU than that. It will have a CPU core room in it as well to bring it up to, I don't know, whatever I think it would need, I guess. I don't really ever foresee this thing going really much past, like, probably, I don't know, I'm just speculating here, but maybe past Core 5. It's just, I think you could get all the equipment in easily and probably under that, but I'm not sure yet. We'll have to, that'll be a bit experimental there, but I will make sure you can definitely put in the cores to fully outfit the base, all of the base, basically. So going up to the top area over here, the farming section, I really haven't done much of anything with that yet. One thing I'm going to have to do, though, and is more of a cosmetic thing, is I believe I'm going to have the farming grow plots off to the side of the center, because this block work here is the landing pad floor, and I cannot or would not want to put in grow plots in these locations because that would look terrible. So even though they're airtight and stuff, it would look horrible with the rest of, you know, once the whole inside gets textured. This would look really bad if I did it that way. So the grow plots, unfortunately, I think are going to have to be off to the sides here, but there's still a good amount of room here, and maybe I'll manipulate some of the storage to fit in more stuff, or a few block modifications or something like that. I'll have to figure it out, though. That is another thing. And then this center area floor space around here might have a small section of, well, it could have the CPU core room or something on one of these sides, maybe some crew rooms or something on the other side, or a little farming production with your fridges and food processors and that kind of stuff probably up in here as well. Then it's going to have a CV repair bay out in the center top middle, which is a 5x5 part that'll fit in there. At this point, even if it's not airtight, and it may not be, that should be okay, because I'm not going to have any grow plots in the area. I'll be able to seal that off. One other thing is I might have some kind of glass up here as well, and a repair console somewhere around this area, so you can basically park a CV above here or whatever you're going to fix, and then flop down into a door here right to the console, and kind of be able to see the CV through some glass or something on the roof as you're fixing it. So I think that'll be a thing too. Yeah, there's some big divots in here too. Also for power generators and stuff like that too. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with that yet too. I don't know what it's going to need. You know, if you're running like full production, like you say you had, I don't know, this might be extreme, but say you had like 20 constructors rolling at once, plus the 4 furnaces. I don't really know how much power that's going to use at one time. So maybe it will need a location to add a big generator into. I don't know. So I'm going to try to accommodate for that regardless, because I've got the room, especially in some of these obscure areas of the base here. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now with it. One last thing I was thinking about doing, and it'll be more of a LCD fun thing, is the top here. Like this whole base is pretty much built out of 45-degree angles, which is unusual for me because I normally build everything on, or most things, out of 22.5 degree angles. But this base is 45 degree angle, which is kind of neat the way it's set up. Essentially what I'm getting at here is I could run like a big barrage of LCD like line markings and things, like big angled lines and other things going around the top here to really kind of illuminate this area. And even do one like for the repair bay itself, which is 5x5, which is your maximum size for an LCD as well. And try to overlay like some cool looking lines that go angles or do angles in the corners and things like that around the top side of the base. I think that would be kind of a fun thing to try out and give it some more visuals. And not to mention, you know, if you're out in the dark in space and you're wanting to repair something, it would be really easy to see what's going on. So that'd be a thing. Of course, I'd make sure I don't have any of those LCDs on the top, so it would disrupt repairing the CV or something like that. That's got to be kept clean. So I'd have to figure out a way to mount those down below somehow, which I think I would have room to do that with as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really wanted to touch on this update video here. I think that's about it, but I definitely wanted to get your opinions on how things are looking. Again, I'm not, you know, no matter what solar panel setup I try, I'm not really happy with any of them. But I did like this one better than some other approaches I tried, especially with the angled frame pieces connecting it. But then I felt obligated to do the same frame pieces on the back side of the base, even though there's no solar panels there. And the idea of like running them in the center, I didn't think it looked better. I tried that. I can move these solar panels around pretty easily. At one point in time, I had beams that went across here, and I had the solar panels kind of mounted down from the center of the base, and I didn't really like that either. So it doesn't really matter what I do. I don't like the solar panels on the base, but I definitely want them there for the build because that's a huge amount of extra cheap power that you're just getting for having them there, and they're totally out of the way. Now in comments, a comment did suggest that maybe I try to put them up above here. I don't like that either. I think the whole base looks a whole lot better seeing the side wall and everything without solar panels there. And depending on the star, I don't think this star would be a problem the way I'm facing it right now, but depending on the star, it could invoke shadows and things that come through this part up to the solar panels if they were in that location. Obviously, I can't put them down below there unless they're really far down below. But yeah, I don't know. That's the one sticky thing I've got is the solar panels yet that are bothering me. But everything else is really coming along pretty well. As in sealing this, I haven't really finished the block work on the base yet, so it's still not sealed. But I believe it should be airtight, especially with this force field set up on the on this. There's one other comment too I forgot to mention from the last update video, and someone was brought up the thing that this border here is a little bit, you know, like you come into these landing pads, and because I got this wall here, I guess you can say that it would be more difficult to land something on these bays here, and maybe I should carve the whole thing out so it's flush with the side pieces. I get where you're coming from on that. It would make docking a little bit easier, but man, it would severely impact the visuals of the base drastically, and it would suck. So I don't really want to do that, but I definitely see where you're coming from on it. I don't disagree with you. It's just, man, if I lost all that stuff, it's gonna look a lot worse. And I'm really trying to, you know, find a balance between functionality and appearance. And yeah, if I make too many cuts like that, like if I did that now, I would have to blow away the whole sides of the base, get rid of all this stuff and all that. It would look drastically worse if I did do that. But I would agree with you that it would probably be a little bit easier to dock if that was not the, you know, not the case, and it was just a straight, you know, octagon, or these flat panels just ran straight out this way and didn't have that border trim there. But it certainly would not look near as good. So I'd rather have it in that one thing. I would like to, you know, try to keep the visuals up and not pull that away. I do, as more of a, as a builder, there's a lot of things I could probably build that wouldn't be super great functional for game, but visually look better. And that's any builder has to always face that reality of, hey, well, what do you want to build? Do you want to build something that works in game good, or do you want to build something that's really pretty, or you want to try to do both? And that's where I usually end up on, is I try to do both. And there's got to be some sacrifices on each side typically to pull that off. And I would hate to just, if I were to build this for pure function and didn't care at all what it looked like, I mean, it wouldn't need any of this other crazy walls or angles or anything going on. I could just build some kind of octagon out of some blocks, and you park on the inside. It could do the same thing, and it has a little room off to the side where it called a day. It'd be cheaper. It'd probably be more functional than this current base, but it would not look very good. And that is, it's important. It's important. I want it to look good too. So yeah, I just wanted to address that comment and how I kind of feel about that. It's like, I do see where you're coming from. It's not like I wouldn't disagree. It would be easier docking that way, but man, it sure would look worse. It just would. Now, if this thing was stretched out more and it had more room between this wall here and the landing pad, that would be another possible solution. But I don't really want to make the base bigger. It doesn't really need to be. It's got plenty of room for everything in it right now. And that would just increase the build cost of it. So it's one of those sticky things, It's like, yeah, I get it, but man, you gotta have some fun as a builder, and try to go for some visuals or ideas or certain shape. Like this one's really shape based. It's using big shapes, and I'm trying to break up the big shapes by doing things with it and stuff like that. It obviously is inspired by stations you might see in Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky as well, just drastically smaller than those bases too. Now, if I was working with something at scale, oh my god, you could do that in this game. I don't think you would ever use it in game because it would be too big and expensive and probably just kill your frame rate. But you could do that. You could build large enough creations, I think, to be somewhat close to what you see in Elite Dangerous, or, well, maybe not quite that big, but maybe about quarter size. This is probably about a 30th size, so there's a big difference there. But other than that, that's all I've got for today. Please let me know what you think about everything on there. If you got any other ideas or anything like that, let me know on that as well. And other than that, y'all have yourself a great weekend, and I will talk to you later.